Hey guys, a happy Monday. It's Joe and it's time for a Puck with Joe. It is February 13th. I hope you all had a fantastic weekend. We've got 5 games on the ice tonight. And honestly, I don't love these matchups that we have. I think there's still some places to make some value, but I do think it's a harder slate today with some games that I'm just not really that interested in betting. So we're going to go over all 5 of these games on the ice today. Just a shout out to everyone who is jumping on the YouTube stream right now. Thanks for being here. I hope everyone is having a fantastic start to the day. Now, let's look at a couple of these games. We kick off with the Calgary Flames taking on the Ottawa Senators. Now, this is at 7. Excuse me, I just need a sip of coffee. I had some guacamole right before coming on, and it felt like a piece of pepper just hit me in the back of the throat. So apologies, you guys. Yeah, big shout out to each and every one of you for being here. Okay, so looking at this first game, the Calgary Flames are taking on the Ottawa Senators. In this matchup, we have Philip Forsberg. Now, I don't know if you guys heard here, Forsberg for the Ottawa Senators, he tore both MCLs on that Saturday game versus the Edmonton Oilers. So they're saying 2 to 3 month recovery. I don't believe he needs surgery. I would think you'd need surgery from MCL. But I was looking on the Score app. It said might not need surgery, but 2 to 3 months out for the Ottawa Senators here. So they're going to be struggling without Forsberg in. Now, Matt Sogard is expected in goal. He's a young goalie drafted back in 2019. He's 22 years old. Coming in here, we have seen him in a couple of appearances. I do think Calgary should be able to find the back of his net. Now, Jacob Markstrom coming out here for the Calgary Flames. He's got a 2.9 goals against average. Now, what we saw out of Calgary on Saturday versus the Buffalo Sabres, they rolled in as a large favorite. You guys know that I didn't have very much faith in my Calgary Flames, especially with what they've done as of late. Not sure how this team is going to make the playoffs if they keep having poor performances like we've seen. But they had a phenomenal game versus the Buffalo Sabres. They came out really hot, opened up offensively in that game. Now they're sitting 5th in the Pacific right now. We have the Ottawa Senators sitting 7th in the Atlantic. And with their struggles with goaltending, I lean on Calgary to get the win. They really need to come out and get this win here. The problem is you look at the Calgary Flames and they're coming in again as large favorites, so you'd have to take them in regulation or throw them into a parlay at minus 170. With the Ottawa Senators goaltending and defensive issues, I do think Calgary will score the goals in this one. They were playing hot offensively in the last game. I think they need to come out and play hot in this one again. So they have struggled in Ottawa as well. So something to note, you guys, they've only gone 2-5 in the last 7 meetings in Ottawa, and versus Ottawa, the same thing, 2-5 in those last 7 meetings. But with Matt Sogard in goal here, I do think Calgary will be able to go over their total of 3.5. I'm really nervous about it because we're getting plus money on that. I would have liked to have seen us paying a little bit of juice on this. I would have felt a little bit more comfortable. We're getting plus 104 on Calgary to get 4 goals in this one, going over that 3.5. I really hope this isn't a lower scoring one for the Calgary Flames. But like I said, Sogard expected here. I do think Calgary will get these goals. They're averaging 3.17 goals per game and 35.5 shots on goal. And that's the impressive thing. It's the amount of goals that they are getting. You could look at the Ottawa Senators, like Johnny is asking here, to take their team total over that 2.5. Now, I just need to check that because I'm pretty sure it was juice looking at the Senators team total over that 2.5. And honestly, Markstrom is due for a pretty big game. We see him with his flashes of greatness, and I think this could be the opportunity. Yeah, over 2.5 for the Ottawa Senators. Johnny's coming in at minus 138. So for the Ottawa Senators, come in here, get those 3 goals. It could definitely happen. That would definitely push us over the total in this one. So I think if you do like the Ottawa Senators to go over that 2.5 and you think Calgary's going to put their share of the goals in, I would just look at the straight over. My problem is here, I don't trust the Ottawa Senators to get these goals. We know They've been up and down offensively this season. They are hitting right on that 3 goals per game on average and 33.6 shots. My problem is Jacob Markstrom in goal for the Calgary Flames. If he comes out hot, the Sens are not finding the back of that goal. And these two teams do trend to that under when they play each other. The last time out, the Ottawa Senators did get that big 4-1 win. So I don't know. You know what, Rick? I looked at this number with Sogard over 30.5 save shots on goal. Now we know Calgary comes out flying, averaging 35.5 shots on goal. Watching them in that last game versus the Buffalo Sabres, they were playing so aggressively offensively, and they have to come out with that same fire in this game. Now, if they come out with the same fire, I don't know how much I trust in Sogard here with how quickly Calgary was able to rack up those goals in the last game. I believe they scored 2 goals within 22 seconds, and it was 3 or 4 goals in 5 minutes and 22 seconds. It was kind of crazy how Calgary came out. So I'm going to stay off of Sogard here. It was something I looked at. Not sure I love it. But Rick, I wish you the best of luck with that one. Markstrom has been struggling, and that's my problem, Johnny. If Markstrom had a couple of really solid games under his belt, I could see this being a case where he struggles. But I really do think Markstrom is due for a super big game. So I'm going to ride with Calgary over the 3.5. I'm going to fade the goalie with the least experience here. We have to remember Markstrom always been a starting goalie. Calgary played hot in their last game. So that's where I'm going, you guys. Give me the Calgary Flames. I would hit them in that parlay at in a parlay reasons at -170. The next game on the board and their team total over that 3.5, you guys. That is my favorite bet of the day. We're getting a little plus money there. So the next game we have, just looking to see if odds have moved. We have the Arizona Coyotes and the Nashville Predators. The Preds still coming in as a large favorite at -230 here. The Arizona Coyotes at +188. We got a total of 6. Now, the Coyotes have lost their last 2. We know this team is a team that loves to play upset. They're sitting 7th in the Central right now. The Preds coming in here, sitting 5th in the Central. They won this last matchup back in November of 4-3. Now, they're such a large favorite here at -230. Even in a parlay, I hate taking such large favorites, but that's probably where I'd go with this one. They haven't been strong on that puck line, sitting 12 and 13 on the puck line, while the Arizona Coyotes are 15 and 17 on the road. So not great either, but we've looked at their last 5 games as underdogs. They have fought and they've kept these games tight, covering that puck line in their last 5 games. But they've lost their last 4 in Nashville and 11 of their last 12 in Nashville overall, or versus Nashville overall. So I do think this is a good opportunity for the Nashville Predators to get a nice big win here. Now they're coming off that overtime win versus the Philadelphia Flyers, in which they had to go to overtime to win that in a low-scoring game. Both of these teams' offenses really haven't been lighting up the board. The Preds coming in here only averaging that 2.76 goals per game, and the Arizona Coyotes averaging that 2.64. Now, defensively, the Coyotes really have been struggling, allowing 3.57 goals per game and 35 shots on goal, while the Preds coming in here only allowing that 2.92. So I like what we've seen out of their defense, and they're still allowing the 34.2. But goaltending has been strong for them. Langekan expected or confirmed in goal here. He's got a 2.64 goals against average. Now, one thing we look at, the Preds coming off of an overtime win, really do come strong in that first period, come out with a lot of confidence. I'm not sure I'd hit them on the puck line here, but I think there is value here on the puck line in the Preds in that first period. You're taking them from a -230 favorite, then on the puck line in the first period, which we know they only have to be up a goal in that, and you're getting them here with a little bit of plus money. So definitely something to look at. I think this is another one. While I think the Predators win this one, I'm going to look at their total goals in this game. I feel more confident in that, just like with the Calgary Flames, for them to get over 3.5 goals in this, because I do think the Arizona Coyotes will keep fighting keep this one tight. I could see this being a very similar game to the last one these two teams played, where we got a 4-3 finish. So I'm going to take the Predators. Team total over 3.5. We're paying -108 on the over 3.5. Now, I do like this game over as well. The over 6 in this one. I was actually shocked this one didn't come in at 6.5. I know the Nashville Predators haven't been averaging over 3 goals per game, and I think we would have seen that 6.5 if we've seen the Preds averaging over. But I'm expecting them to really step up offensively in this game, find the back of the Arizona Coyotes in net, and get the 4 goals in this needed for us to get that over 3.5. And the Coyotes, we know they're good for a couple in this one. So at worst, we get the push there on the 6, but I would lean to the over before I looked at the under. The over hitting in 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two. And the Preds have been rolling hot, you guys, especially at home, winning 5 of their last 6 home games. They're also 4-1 in their last 5 overall. So trends to the over, absolutely. Yeah, he might get pulled if Calgary starts to light him up. But the problem there is, who is Sogard's backup? It's kind of scary in Ottawa right now with that with the goaltending issues. The next game on the ice, we have the Florida Panthers taking on the Minnesota Wild. This is going to be a battle of all battles. Now, Bobrovsky expected in goal for the Florida Panthers. It's a pick 'em in this one. We got a total of 6.5. The Minnesota Wild here at home expected to start. Gustafsson, he's confirmed. He's confirmed. He's got a 2.25 goals against average. Bobrovsky coming in for the Florida Panthers with a 3.13. Now, we've seen the Florida Panthers play some absolutely incredible hockey. We know they had that big blowout win over the Tampa Bay Lightning coming back from that All-Star break. They beat up on the Lightning significantly. This team is fighting for a wild card spot, but we look at the Minnesota Wild. This team is also fighting for a wild card spot, with both of these teams sitting 4th in their division. The Panthers are 4th in the Atlantic, the Minnesota Wild sitting 4th in the Central. So we see the Wild coming in here off a shootout win over the New Jersey Devils. That was a 3-2 win. And we see the Florida Panthers here coming off that loss to the Colorado Avalanche on Saturday. It was a 5-3 loss. I'm looking for them to bounce back here. They're headed out on the road, kind of like a fresh start here on the road. And I think they'll be able to get it done over the Minnesota Wild. If Marc-Andre Fleury was in goal, I'd have a little bit more faith in the Wild in this one. They are a solid home team, and they're really solid in a 3 and 4 day situation. But I do think this one comes down to, I like what I've seen out of the Panthers more as of late. They're 4-0 in the last 4 meetings versus the Wild too, so they have dominated this matchup. The only scary thing is when they've gone into Minnesota, they've gone 2-7 in those last 9 meetings. We've seen strong trends to the home team as well. But you guys, I look at the Minnesota Wild. This is a pick 'em. When we look at the Wild, when they're as an underdog, and on some books, they're slight underdogs, right? We're looking at a team that they're at home. We should be paying like -120 for that home ice advantage. The Wild are not getting that home ice advantage here. When they are underdogs, they have lost their last 5 games, and they failed to cover the puck line in their last 9 games at home here. They're 9-17 at home on that puck line. We look at the Florida Panthers. They haven't been strong on that puck line on the road, going 10-19. But we're not asking them to cover a puck line here. I'm just asking them to get the win. They got 11-15-3 on the road. They need to pick things back up. This team is fighting so hard. I really do think this is a good opportunity for the Florida Panthers to get the win here. So give me the Florida Panthers at the pick 'em price in this one. Now, these two teams actually trend to the over. And so this total at 6.5, I don't know how much I love hitting this one over. We look at the Minnesota Wild. They're not averaging over 3 goals per game, and their defense has been phenomenally strong. Now, the Florida Panthers defense has been allowing these goals to come in at 3.44 overall, and Bobrovsky at that 3.13. So I could see, because I do think the Florida Panthers win this one, the Wild scoring a couple of goals here, but I could see this being a 4-2 win for the Florida Panthers, and then it's staying under that total. I'm not willing to take it under with the amount of goals. The Florida Panthers average of that 3.47 and 36.2 shots on goal. So I'm going to stay out that total. I would lean to the under. I would lean at the Florida Panthers team total to go over in this one, but we know the Minnesota Wild's ability to limit opponents' shots on goal. And that's something we saw with Calgary, you guys, when we talk about Calgary and how strong they were versus the Buffalo Sabres on the weekend. You also had to look at what that defense was able to do. Now, there was so many penalty minutes again in that game. Both these teams got scrappy, but the defense of the Calgary Flames limiting the Buffalo Sabres. The Sabres had 2 goals in the first period and only 3 shots on goal. So when the Buffalo Sabres were able to break away, they were getting these shots, or when they got these shots, they were getting the goals. But what we saw was the Calgary Flames defense really able to limit those shots on goal until that third period, and then the Buffalo Sabres were able to get more shots on goal. So we got to look at teams like the Wild, their ability to keep these games under. They came off that shootout win versus the Devils coming into this game. They were able to limit the Devils to only 2 goals. We know the New Jersey Devils are so strong offensively as well. So I think this one is hard to take that total over that 6.5 because we have the Wild, who limit opponents to 30.3 shots on goal and 2.8 goals per game. So this should be a great game. I'm hoping for a lot of defense out of them, but I do think the Florida Panthers end up pulling this one off. I think offensively, this team is just so strong, and I'm expecting a good night out of Bobrovsky. Now, the Detroit Red Wings and the Vancouver Canucks play at 10 o'clock Eastern, you guys, and this is a game that I don't want to bet this game. If I look at it, we just saw these teams play on Saturday. The Detroit Red Wings got the win 5-2, and now they're in Vancouver to play again. I can't trust Vancouver offensively or defensively. Offensively, they have been putting up the goals, but they weren't able to on a Saturday versus the Detroit Red Wings, only getting 2 goals and allowing 5. Now, do I trust the Detroit Red Wings? No, I don't trust this team either. When these two teams play each other, they trend to that under. But do I want to take an under with how terrible these defenses are doing? And they just played Saturday and hit 7? No, I don't want to touch this game, you guys. If I had to take a side, I'd look for Vancouver to bounce back at home, looking at these teams to split these 2 games in a row here. But I don't love it. I don't trust Vancouver. I also don't trust the Detroit Red Wings. And I don't trust the trends of the under in this one with terrible goaltending and defenses. Now, Husso expected in goal for the Red Wings. I do like what we've seen out of Husso. He's got a 2.94 goals against average, and Dahlia expected here for the Vancouver Canucks. He's got a 3.27. For me, it's just to stay away. Don't bet. If I had to take a side, I'd take the Vancouver Canucks at home because we know this offense really has been stepping up. The last game on the board, much better game here. We got the Buffalo Sabres taking on the LA Kings. Now, 10:30 Eastern. This is the late game here. The Kings rolling in as the favorite at -154, plus 128 here for the Buffalo Sabres. Lankinen expected here. And Copley expected for the LA Kings. He's got a 2.78 goals against average. You guys know how strongly I feel about Copley. He definitely is one of these goalies that can help the LA Kings get into a playoff spot here. Now they're off a huge win over the Pittsburgh Penguins. I believe that was Saturday. It was 6-0. They got the shutout win over the Penguins, and I think they roll in this one with momentum. They've got the home ice advantage here over the Buffalo Sabres. Now, yes, the Sabres have lost their last 3. They're off a disappointing loss to the Calgary Flames, but they're not going to get an easier defense here. And while the LA Kings are allowing more goals at that 3.37, their defense is 5th overall in the league, limiting opponents to only 28.7 shots on goal. So I do think we have a prime opportunity for the Buffalo Sabres to be really limited again on their abilities to get these shots on Copley. And with Copley in goal for the LA Kings, I'm confident in this goalie to be able to make those stops when the Buffalo Sabres take them. Now, the Buffalo Sabres are a good team, you guys. They've come out not so great after the All-Star break here. They did win the last matchup. They got the shutout back in December, 6-0. In this one, though, I think this will fuel the LA Kings to get revenge from that game in December. Now, the Sabres are really a strong road team, though, so it's not going to be an easy one for the Kings to get the win. They've gone 15-7-1-1 on the road this season, and the Kings 15-9-2 at home. The home team between these two has won 24 of the last 31 meetings, and the Kings, having that 1 day's rest, are in a strong situation, winning 4 of their last 5 on 1 day's rest. The Sabres have struggled in LA as well, you guys, going 2-6 in their last 8 meetings in LA, but 5-2 in their last 7 meetings overall. So give me the LA Kings here. We're going to pay a lot on that money line. And like I said, this is why I'm not loving these games today, because we look at the Florida Panthers very strong on that puck line, going 16-8 on the road on that puck line this season. And we look at the LA Kings 11-15 at home on the puck line. We're not getting much value, if nothing at all, taking the Buffalo Sabres here plus 1.5. I would not trust the LA Kings in regulation. This is another one where, unless you're willing to pay minus 154, which I'm not on the LA Kings, I think it's really hard to bet it any other way. So I think it's a parlay element here. Now, this total of 6.5, it's scary to take it under, but if the LA Kings are to win this game, I think it is a defensive battle out here on the ice. We know the Buffalo Sabres are allowing these goals to come in. With that loss to Calgary, with how many goals Calgary put up, this team needs to fix their defense. They need to come out stronger defensively. Can they do that overnight? Seems like overnight was a couple days ago. It's going to be a hard thing to ask of them here. But I am expecting the defense to step up a little bit more. I think we could look at the Buffalo Sabres team total under, because I do trust in this defense of the LA Kings. And I'm just going to pull up what we're getting here for the Buffalo Sabres team total. Well, I could see it being a high-scoring first period. I think after that, we see things slow down. See, we're not getting any. Oh, we are getting value. Taking the under 2.5 for the Buffalo Sabres is plus 130. If you think the LA Kings are really going to limit them here, it's going to be a hard one. But you guys, those are today's games. Which one do I feel most confident about? Well, out of all these 5s, I am not, like I said, loving it. Let's build a parlay. We'll do the recap. And then I will give you my best bets out of these. So for the parlay, the first game, we got the Calgary Flames taking on the Ottawa Senators. Like I said, Calgary off incredible performance over the Buffalo Sabres. I think offensively, they keep rolling. Their defense was also phenomenally strong. I can make a case for taking them here on the puck line. I just don't trust my Calgary Flames enough. And if you do trust the Calgary Flames, you're going to get some nice plus money here with them on the puck line. I can't get there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Flames team total over 3.5. I trust this offense to come out as strong as we did see them in that game versus the Buffalo Sabres, where they really got things moving. They scored quick goals, nice, quick, and fast. I also like the first period over 1.5 in this game. I think we see the goals coming in between Calgary and the Sens. And that is, let me just see the value between that, if we're getting enough value there, because we might have to parlay that one as well. The book's really catching on to these first periods and making us pay a lot of juice on the total goals. Yeah, it's minus 152 for Calgary and the Sens at first period over. So we'll parlay that one with something else. But for the main parlay, I'm going to take the Flames team total over 3.5 between the Arizona Coyotes and the Nashville Predators. And you guys, that over 3.5 is plus 104. So that is also one of my better bets of the day. I don't love today's card. I'm warning you. Normally when I don't love today's card, though, we probably do good. The Arizona Coyotes, Nashville Predators game. I'm going to look at the Preds team total as well over that 3.5 in this matchup. I really do think they come in and open up their offense This is a team that really isn't known for scoring a lot of goals, but they should have a phenomenal night versus the Arizona Coyotes. I am cautious taking them on that puck line because we know the Coyotes really have been hanging tight, covering that puck line the last 5 as an underdog. And the Nashville Predators are no one to write home about on that puck line, even at home, going 12-13 at home. So the Predators team total over 3.5. I love in this game. I think they're going to get those goals. That is one of my better bets of the day as well, you guys. The Florida Panthers and the Minnesota Wild. I think the Panthers here, it's a prime opportunity to make some money on them. Now, I know the Wild should really dig deep here at home, but I think the Panthers on this first game of a road trip should come out nice and strong off that loss to the Avs. Now, another thing to look at the Wild, they have the Avs on deck on Wednesday, who are sitting third in the Central. It's a divisional opponent coming out. Now, they need every win that they can get as well, but I think the Panthers have the opportunity here to get the win. And so I'm going to go with the Panthers on the money line for the parlay. And the Panthers on the money line is one of my better bets today. The Detroit Red Wings and the Vancouver Canucks. You guys, this one, I do not love this game. I'm not going to throw it into anything. I think Vancouver should get the bounce back. So if you need to bet it, I'd take Vancouver here. These teams trend to the under, but I can't trust either defenses or goaltenders to keep this one under. Houston, I can trust more, but I think Vancouver probably bounces back off that loss. So trend to the under, can't trust it. The Buffalo Sabres and the LA Kings. I like the LA Kings tonight to get the win. I'm going to throw them on the money line in that parlay. I think the Buffalo Sabres will struggle in this one. We've seen this team lose their last 3, really be limited offensively by the defense of the Calgary Flames. And I think the LA Kings have every ability to do the same thing here. The Kings, off that nice big win over the Penguins, should roll in with momentum, and I trust Copley in this situation. I just want to see if he has been confirmed in goal, and if so, what's his save shots on goal in this one? We've got Craig Anderson now coming in here for the Buffalo Sabres, and Phoenix Copley is confirmed for the LA Kings. Now I'm just trying to see his save shots on goal. His save shots on goal is coming in at 27.5 for Copley. And Anderson's save shots are coming in at 28.5 for Anderson. Let's just look at these numbers and see if we can find some value here. So looking at Copley, his save shots, 27.5. I absolutely love that to the over. When we look at the LA Kings, yes, their defense is really phenomenal at limiting opponents' ability to get these shots on goal. What we're going to see out of the Buffalo Sabres is they were completely limited in their last one versus the Calgary Flames. I think we do see them getting some more shots on goal, but I think Copley can save these shots. The Buffalo Sabres are averaging that 32.3. The LA Kings allowing 28.7. So this is going to be really tight to that over, but I trust Copley here with everything the Buffalo Sabres have to go over 27.5 for the LA Kings for his save shots on goal. Now looking at Anderson coming in for the Buffalo Sabres, his number is sitting at 28.5. Now the Buffalo Sabres are allowing 32.8 and the LA Kings averaging 32.3. I would look at Anderson saving under 28.5. I do think this is one where we can expect some goals here for the Kings. Now hitting him under the number is minus 102 here. I do think that we will see him go under. So I'm going to take Anderson under 28.5, and I'm going to take Copley over 27.5 save shots on goal. So I took the Kings in this parlay. As for that total, I do lean on the under because I do think the Sabres just don't find the goal. So the long shot parlay, I'm going to take the Flames team total over 3.5, the Preds team total over 3.5, the Panthers on the money line, and the LA Kings on the money line. I think when we look at the better bets of today, the Panthers are going to be a hard win, but I do think they get the win tonight. And then the Flames and the Preds, I really do think they go over 3.5. Now, I think the Kings win this one as well. So all three of these, or all four of these, are strong bets. The only problem with the LA Kings, we're not getting any value on the money line. It's minus 154, so you have to throw that into a parlay. The Panthers are a pick 'em, so I'm fine betting that straight up. And we're getting value on the Preds and the Flames team total over 3.5. So Calgary and the Sens in that first period, over 1.5 was minus 152. And I think that is a really solid way to go. Now, I think you can take the Florida Panthers and the Wild over 1.5 in that first period as well. So let's see what value we're getting there. We know these two teams last time they played back in January. It was a 5-3 win for the Florida Panthers. Panthers really open up nice, hard, and strong as well. So let's just look at the over 1.5 in that and see if we should parlay it. I'm sure we're going to have to parlay it. Over 1.5 is minus 154 as well. So if you take the Florida Panthers and the Minnesota Wild over 1.5 in the first period, and the Calgary Flames and the Ottawa Senators over 1.5 in the first period, both of those are in the minus 150s. Combining that, you're going to get a little bit of plus money. So that's what I'm liking today, you guys. I want to thank you so much for joining me here on Pocket with Joe for Monday, February 13th. We'll be back here tomorrow at 3:30 Eastern. So stay tuned for that. Tomorrow's games actually, I think, are going to be a little bit better. Let's just quickly look at tomorrow's schedule again, because I've looked the whole week out. Yeah, we have some really interesting games. We have 1 million games on the board. We have 9 games on the board tomorrow. So the the Boston Bruins and the Dallas Stars are going at it tomorrow, which should be phenomenal. Florida and the Blues, got the Devils and the Columbus Blue Jackets. We've got some great games on the board. So you guys, have a good one. Let's make some freaking money. Let's make some pumpkin money, Rick. You are so right. Have a great day. Stay warm. Snowing again here, you guys. I cannot wait for summer. Now football's done. Bring on summer. Bring on MLB. It's going to be a good one. You guys, yes, hit that under Neil. Absolutely. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye now.